Hi, this tutorial is about Select Subject. It's a relative newcomer in the Selection Tool category in Photoshop, and you'll find it up here under Select and then Subject. So all you have to do is be on the layer that you want to select the subject from, and it does the best it can. Now, a simple background like this one works pretty well. If it's a complicated back one, maybe not so well. While I'm telling you this, I have Select Subject Jumper, and I also have Select Subject Runner open as well. I'm going to hit the quick key so that we can just kind of see what our mask looks like. And it's not too bad. It failed right here. And also, the watch, it didn't get that. But between the fingers and smaller areas, detail areas like that is usually where it has some trouble. But I can use other tools to go and fix these. I'm in Quick Mask right now, so I could just very easily come and fix these things and then get out of Quick Mask, and I'll have my selection ready to go. So I'm going to move over now, and we'll take a look at one that's a little bit more complicated in the background. So again, I'm going to go up under Select and choose Subject. And sometimes, depending on the size of the image and how complicated, that could take some time, so be patient. I always, if it looks like it has a fairly uncomplicated background, I'll always start this way because it's not usually a finished product, but it's a good starting point. So in this case, I'm going to take a look at it a little bit closer. I can see where it missed stuff inside of here and here, but now I can use other tools. And making selections is, first of all, knowing what tools are available to you. And secondly, knowing that combinations of selection tools are usually the best way to get the best product. So there's two things you need to focus on. One of them is making good selections, because a bad selection is kind of saying, ooh, I'm photoshopped. Secondly is how quickly you can make that selection, because time is money in graphic design. If I can get from point A to point B faster, it's more money for me. I want to use the quick selection tool here. And remember, I want my brush to be a little bigger, and I'm just going to drag it through here. Oh, it's already set to plus, and this is part of my selection. This is not selected out here. So I'm going to switch it to minus by holding down the Option, and you should see my cursor, zoom in, turn into a little minus in the inside. It's very small, but there it is. And I'll drag through there and let that resolve. And I'll Option drag up here. And this could be a good way to go for a lot of this. Here's another place right here. Let's take a look at another thing I can do. I can try to do this here. This is also minus. And that helped that whole edge, so that's good. Okay, and here we'll try minus again. Might have to make my brush a little bit smaller. Plus through there. There we go. This is going to be probably too small. So I'm just going to go right into Quick Mask from here. So do you remember Quick Mask? It's the one where we pushed all those keys. Q to switch into Quick Mask mode. And then I'm going to need that color to be a little different. So I'm going to double click down here at the very bottom of the toolbox. And I'm going to change this color to this hideous green color so I can really see it. And I'll say OK. And then I'll go Q to get into Quick Mask mode. And then I want the brush selected, so I can click on the brush, or I can just push B and it selects the brush. Then I want the foreground color to be black, so I can click on that little icon right there, or click the D. And the last thing is I want to make sure that opacity for my brush up here in the options bar is at 100%, or I can just click on the 0. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what the quick mask mode is all about, to come in and make some quick fixes to stuff. Okay, I'm not going to be too worried about this edge stuff. In the next movie, I'll show you how to refine the edge of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get the big stuff out of the way. That chunk in there is pretty bad. So remember, it's in paint black mode to start with. If I want to switch from black to white, I can either click on this double bent arrow, which switches the foreground and the background color. So if I'm painting with white, it's going to clean out the mask. Or I can just hit the X key. So X switches back and forth, and that's easier to remember. When I'm painting in this mode, it's really easy for me to switch back and forth to repair these masks just by hitting the X key. What I would do at this point is just go out of Quick Mask. I have my live selection, the marching ants on my subject. Then I would come over to that layer, make sure I had the layer selected, and then hit the white card with the hole in it. This is the Add Mask button. And now I have a mask over the background. We never delete pixels. We use a layer mask to cover those pixels up. That way, if I come back and refine this edge, I'll still have pieces. If I cut off something that I didn't want to, then it will still be there for me. So that's why we do this non-destructive editing. Okay, keep watching. Get smarter.